So without further ado, I'd like to present Kate Ertman. Please, welcome on stage.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. All right, I have to do the obligatory taking a picture, all y'all. And there's so many of you, I'm going to have to take a couple. So when I point the camera, please wave, because I'll be tweeting this out later. Over here. Thank you. In the middle. Thank you. And over here. Why, thank you. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to talk to you today about, well, first a little bit about me, because otherwise, why the hell should you listen to me? But then I'm going to talk about why small is the new big, and also why I believe that it is so very important. So let me start with this guy. This guy came to the United States 100 years ago, exactly, in 1913. He was 20 years old, and he spent the first 20 years of his life, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, he spent the first 20 years of his life in Telšiai, Lithuania. This is my grandfather, and I knew him as Charles Kunčius. But, and what I'm about to show you, if it looks familiar, if the surname looks familiar to you, I believe that was what his name was when he lived here, before he came to the United States, and they totally butchered his name, pretty much. So, Charles Kunčius came to the United States 100 years ago, and he was an entrepreneur. He came to Chicago, mid-America. There was a Lithuanian community there, and he opened a market, and he became a butcher, and he had a very successful career. And he fought against a lot of adversity. He went through the Great Depression, owning his business, keeping his business alive. And he's one of my heroes, for sure. Then we have this woman. Her name is Mary Jo. Mary Jo is the daughter of Charles. She's my mom. And this is her when she worked at CBS, which is a television broadcast station in the early 50s, right at the dawn of television. So, brand new thing called television. Here's this woman who's working as a producer. So she was leading a huge team, a ton of adversity that she went through. And again, that's about 1952, and she's about 22 years old. Pretty amazing. And then we come to this adorable picture, where that's me and my mom and my grandfather. I'm about 2 years old here, it's 1973. And I ended up, in many ways, following in both of their footsteps. What I do is, for the past 15 years, I own a 3D animation company. And what we do is we use animation, the same software that is used in Pixar movies, in DreamWorks movies. We use that animation as a business tool for our clients. We work with companies like Intel and 3M, Microsoft, and we help them visualize not just what a product's going to look like, but we help them visualize what the human experience is going to look like. And that way, as they design a product, they can try to figure out what is it going to work for, let's say, a woman cleaning a house, and it's a new vacuum. How will her hand grip the handle? How heavy will it be? We can use real physics, because we use gaming engines also in our animation. So we can decide if it's going to be 2 pounds, or if we add 5 more pounds to it, what will the effect be, and what will the experience be? Because we all want to use products that we like. This isn't what I'm going to talk with you about today, though. What I'm going to talk with you about is the human experience part of running your company. It is so important. So important for you to pay attention to that. Like I said, I've been doing this 15 years. I've learned a lot of things in a lot of ways that I wish I hadn't learned it, but I'm very happy to be here today to share with you what I do know. I'm going to have a bunch of quotes. If you don't know who the people are that these quotes are attributed to, I hope you write them down. I hope you Google them. I don't agree with everything all these people say, but these are some choice words that I hope you'll take to heart. So the story that I'm here to tell you about today is about having a human connection to your employees, to your clients, to their customers, and why it is important, and what that means for success. I'm going to challenge you first. Imagine that you have your successful company, or you're enjoying the work you're doing, you're working really, really hard. And one of your clients, one of your partners, however you want to think about it, they approach you and are interested in buying your company. They want to expand their services. They want to offer what you are doing as your business as something internal at their company. Would you say yes? Who would say yes to that? I'm like, come on, some of you. Okay. A lot of people would say yes. So my story today is how I said no, because this happened to me about 5 years ago. Oh, also, I'm going to be doing 2 different buttons here, so if that doesn't change, feel free to wave your arm at me. I've told this story only once publicly. I didn't tell a lot of people for a while because I felt that perhaps I made a wrong decision. I've learned in the past 5 years since this all happened, it was the best decision I ever made. So I just want you to take into consideration what my thought process was. So it was 5 years ago. Here I was being offered this amazing thing, this amazing opportunity, and of course, whenever you're offered opportunities, please, please, please take them into consideration. More often than not, say yes before you want to say no. But I hadn't been looking for this sort of change to my business structure at all. So I met with the people that were offering to buy the company, and we sat down, we went over each other's goals, a lot of them matched up, we were really happy about that. We sat down a second time, and we looked over each other's financial statements, which was fantastic, because they were willing to share with me as I was willing to share with them, and that looked great too. It was wonderful. So after that second meeting, I started thinking, holy crap, this might actually happen. I wasn't even planning for this to happen. And I started reflecting back, as you do when big moments in your life happen. And I thought back to 10 years prior, because at that point I'd been running the company for 10 years. And I thought back to 10 years beforehand and how I was working in the dot-com era in the 90s on the West Coast. And I realized that I had been working for a company that had been acquired 3 times in the 4 years that I had been there. It ended up being a company called agency.com, which is not the most imaginative name, but at that time it was pretty cool. And I realized that one of the things that I did not like about working there was that I didn't have really any connection with the people that were immediately in my circle. So I'm not even talking about the larger part of the company, I'm talking about the people I worked with day to day. They had no connection to me, and I certainly had no connection to them. And I realized that, oh yeah, I felt like I was part of just this machine. I was just kind of working and doing stuff. And I knew that I didn't want that to happen to the people I worked with. So, oh, hold please. Okay. So, I sat down again with the company that was looking to buy my company, and I said, I want to talk about people. I want to talk about your people, I want to talk about my people. I wanted to understand what their culture was. And when I talk about culture, I'm not talking about having a keg in the kitchen and we drink from that keg in the afternoon. What I believe culture is and how I define it is culture is the atmosphere that the founders, the creators of the company, they're the ones that create what a culture is. The more important thing is that they are the people that maintain what culture is. It's so, so very important. So I asked these buyers, can you guarantee that in the first 6 months that we bring our companies together, can you guarantee that all of my current employees will have a job in that first 6 months? I knew titles would change, I knew hierarchy would change, I knew there'd be a duplication of titles and work, and I knew that after 6 months it was very likely some people would leave, some people we'd have to push out. But I needed to make sure that everybody was able to put the ingredients that they had be able to put those together to see what we could make together. Because on our own, we've been doing some really awesome stuff. They weren't able to guarantee me that. I feel this great responsibility to my employees, not in a martyr sort of way. And as a woman, I get a little sensitive because many times women can be looked at when they're leaders in a company, especially in a male-dominated company, a male-dominated industry, which 3D and animation definitely is, that we are looked at as parental to our employees. Make no mistake, I am not their mother. I'm their boss. I'm their leader. When I lead my company, I try to make sure that everyone knows, and everyone knows that I expect from them, that they participate. That everybody is involved in executing on what our vision is. And there are people, of course, who are more in a leadership, more of directors, people who figure out the how. And then there's people that you work with that are more doers, and they want to figure out how to do that thing that they've been assigned to do, and they don't want to worry about the how. And those two things, that's how you get work done together. You have these two types of people. One is not better than the other. They're both equal contributors to the success of a company. But no matter if you are a doer or if you are the person who figures out how we're going to do something, I guarantee that every single person who's working with you, that they want to feel like they have made an impact. They want to feel like they are a part of the solution, whatever that challenge might be. It doesn't matter. They want to look back on the work that they do in their community. And when I say community, that can be people who work in your office, your community can be people on your block, your community can be the people in your industry, whatever it is. But everybody wants to feel like they are a part of their community. And to pretend that they don't, to pretend that you think that everyone, or there are people on your team that are the part of the machine and they're just clocking in, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Everybody wants to make some sort of impact and leave something in their wake. So, I continued my talk with the potential buyers. And they never talked about trust. You see, trust is at the very core of every relationship that you have. Trust is at the very core of everything you should do in business, because that's how you're going to have success. And they never talked about trust. They talked about dollars and cents, which is really important. Don't get me wrong. We're not running nonprofits. We're not running charities, or most of us aren't. And I acknowledge that, but trust comes in no matter what kind of relationship, no matter what you want to build. This leads me to talking about what is success. We're all going to have our own definitions, but I believe that success, unfortunately, is so often solely measured by exponential growth. Solely measured that way. That is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's not true. Success is the impact that you have on other people. Success is the impact that you have on your employees. Success is the impact you have on your clients and on their customers. That's success. That's how you make effective change happen. So, as you might have guessed, as I kind of said a little bit earlier, I turned down the offer from the buyers because I realized we actually, on paper we looked good, but in person we actually weren't aligned at all. All of my business decisions are based on the stated values of my company. And this is one of the things that I hope you do when you finish with this weekend, is that you write down what your values are. What my values, what my company's values are trust, number one, confidence, acting with intent, vision, and creating partnerships, creating relationships. So I want you to write down what your values are. You as a person, you as a company. These two things can be different. They're probably, I would think, are going to overlap a bit, but they can be different from an individual to a company. And what I challenge you is that the very next business decision that you make, that you look at that list and you base it on those values. And you give that list to somebody else who has nothing to do with your company. It could be your mom, it could be your sibling, it could be one of your best friends, doesn't matter. But that you use that value list and you have them hold you accountable. Because that's one of the things when you're a leader, when you're a startup especially, no one's holding you accountable, it's only you. Get someone outside of your circle. Someone maybe that was a childhood friend. Have them know what your values are so they can, you know, tell you when you're bullshitting them. Make sure that you have this person in your life. So this next slide is awesome. If you didn't write down any of the names of the people that I've been rolling through here, please write down her name, Cindy Gallup. She's one of my mentors. She's one of my friends. She's a fantastic woman. Google her. She's involved in a lot of different sorts of companies, some a little more risque than others. But this company, If We Ran the World, ifwerantheworld.com, they're doing this small little thing, which is their mission is to help redesign the world of business. A tiny little thing. And she believes that this is the business model of the future. And it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And it's possible, for sure. It's absolutely possible. So what she looks at is that brands currently are trying to co-create with their audiences, with their consumers. And usually they're trying to co-create content. It's one of the cool things to do. You get kind of word of mouth going on. You tweet things out. You get a whole community together who are basically working for your brand. You can be a big business. You can be an intrapreneur or an entrepreneur, whatever it is. What she's saying is instead of co-creating content, let's co-create action. Let's make micro actions in the real world that will benefit customers, that will then therefore benefit society, and it circles back and will benefit the business. This is not bizarre. This is not impossible. This is absolutely possible, because the power that we already have all together to creating content and making money for the business person, we can actually, if we co-create action, micro actions, that is how we will benefit society as a whole. Another way to look at this, another way to look at everything I've just been talking about for the past 15 minutes, is if you are solely, or if you are majorly, I guess you could say, if number one on your list is focusing on IPOs and VCs, and we have a lot of people here who are going to speak this weekend who know a lot about that, please listen to them. But what I'm saying is if you are solely focused on that, I believe that you are anti-community. I believe that you don't care about your community. I really do. If that is all that is in front of you, then you're not treating the people that you work with every day as humans. I spend more waking hours, and I know people here are going to relate to this. I spend more waking hours in the day with the people that I work with than the man that I married, that I chose to spend the rest of my life with. That's fucking ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And when you consider that, well, you should consider that these are humans that work with you. They're not parts of a machine. My company is profitable. 15 years. We were at the dawn of animation. It's changed so much over the years, but we're very tightly focused, and we've created a paradigm shift of what 3D and what animation is and how you use it in business. So I want you to think about the people you're working with. Think about your values. Think about who your community is. By putting these things in the forefront of how you design your company, of how you pitch to the VCs, of telling them what you're trying to do when it relates to people, to the human beings, you will have success. At you.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Kate. That was fantastic. Do you have, yes, here I am. Do you have something? Yes.
Yes, I have.
Give it to her.
Should I? Yeah, okay. I present, whoa!
Got it.
That was close.
That was close.
It's attached to you. Don't lose it.
I can take it. I can take it. I can take it.
To you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Present to you a present. Products.
Look at the people on the right. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He wants that. Oh my God. Do we have another try? Give another one. Oh, we have a lucky one. And we're going to have one more. One more. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Enjoy this.
I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out.
We're going to practice and come back to you tomorrow. Thanks. That was awesome.
Also, I didn't know you were Lithuanian. I didn't know you were Lithuanian. That's amazing. I think that's because we didn't actually talk. That's because we didn't talk. Can I give you my card? Let's talk.
Anybody that really does, anyone knows or recognizes that last name of my grandfather in any way, please talk with me. I would love to just know more.
Repeat that.
Hello. Hi. If anybody recognized the last name of my grandfather, as I understand it was here in Lithuania, seriously, I'm here all weekend. If you see me walking around, please just come up and talk with me. I'm really interested because my mom and I just don't know that much. My grandfather didn't talk about it that much. And we asked him many times, and it was only in his later years he started, I guess you can say, revealing things. So please, talk with me. Thanks.
So just to clarify, she has origins in Telšiai. Do we have anyone from Telšiai? Here we go. We have a few people. These are the ladies you should talk to. So, yes,
That's an awesome way to meet awesome speakers, right?
Yes, right? Thank you.